Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Dow Jones today? So starting off on the weekly, last week we ended up with a inside bar. The concern for me is that we are below the moving averages. Okay, we haven't got a crossover on the moving averages, but we are below them, and that is a bit of a concern. Now, obviously, I would love for us to had what we had last year with this just gentle continuing climb. Okay, but you can see this year has been very volatile. And one of the things to pay attention to is that we do have the stochastics pointing to the downside and separating, and we also have the momentum index that's dropped below the 20 on the Bollinger Band. So this is kind of neutral at the moment, and this could very well be setting up for a something similar to this here, something similar to this kind of pattern here, where you can see how they separate and then they cross over while they're wide apart, and then look how violent the move is. Okay, so that often happens with the stochastics. The weekly line in the sand right now is this one right here where we are. Okay, so you can see this is the previous swing high. We dip below it. We're sort of hovering on it at the moment. So that is kind of my line in the sand anyway for now. So let's just have a look at first let's have a little quick squiz at the daily. So what we have on the daily is we've got all these buyers stepping in. We had this triangle break. We've come back, and something I want to point out here. I know I've mentioned this before, but it's always good to mention it again. Okay, so often when you get these triangles, okay, so if it's a continuation, normally you get the continuation move, which is this first move down and another move of the same distance. When it goes in the opposite direction of the original direction, like it did here, breaks the upside, it more often than not comes back to the apex. And the apex is where these two lines cross. If I just delete that, and you can see how prices come back to the apex here and sort of come to test that apex again. Okay, so let's just get onto time frames we can trade. Well, before we get there, on the daily, you can see we've stepped out the Bollinger off the 200 moving average. No real diversions or anything, but we do have a crossover the stochastics here. So there is a very good possibility that we have found ourselves a bottom here. Okay, now what we want to do, I just want to go through all the time frames here. Nothing really on the 4 hour. Let's just get to the half hour. Okay, so we had a gap down today. We've already closed the gap. Okay, thing that is concerning me though is that was the low of Friday. Okay, and we gap below it. In other words, we have created a lower low. So what I would like to see at this stage, we have broken above that trend line as well. So things are pointing to me at the moment to say wait for the European session. There should be some kind of a pullback, and then we're looking to get long. Okay, we've already sort of got a 179 point move off the bottom, which is fairly significant, especially on the Dow. Okay, so and it seems to be moving at a rapid rate of knots right now. Okay, so yeah, I think it's not an area to get long at the moment. We want to wait for a pullback, and what I want to see is I want to see a decent pullback. So we do have, on the bigger picture. So if we look over the last couple of days, we do have a higher low here. Okay, and these are three very solid green candles. So this is looking like we have a fairly strong move to the upside starting to brew. The only thing that's concerning me is you see all these tails on Friday, a lot of barbed wire here. So I think what I'm looking for is a pullback. If we can get a higher low today, that would definitely give me some confidence for a swing trade for the week to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at on the Dow. We've got all these 200 moving averages above us which need to be taken out. But at this stage, if you're looking at the 4 hour, you can see we had this massive indecision bar here, lots of indecision, and now we have this engulfing green at the moment. So I suspect we're going to get some sellers somewhere around here. Or alternatively, it's going to be a gentle pullback and then a move to the upside. Okay, so I think I'm still looking for that swing trade long. I know I've been looking for it for a couple of days now, and well, basically, I was expecting it 3 days ago, but that failed miserably. So we are now waiting to see what happens, and I will look at the ichimoku because that's going to give us a better picture of when this swing trade is coming. Okay, so for now, it is starting to look like we have a potential turn. You can see there's our flag, and we've broken to the upside. So I would like to see a pullback, come test the break, and then look for price action to indicate that it's time to get long. Okay, so I think let's just have a look at the ichimoku, and we'll see what I'm talking about. Right, so let's just start on the daily. So ichimoku on the daily is indicating that there is a potential turn coming. You can see how the Kijun which is a red line, is flat, and we're now starting to flatten out on Tekinson. So ideally what you want to see is Tekinson starting to point up and then cross over. A crossover above the cloud is extremely bullish. Okay, crossover below the cloud is bullish, but not as bullish as a crossover above the cloud. And what we're looking for is Chiku span to get up above price as well. So that's going to take quite a bit of effort to get through price. So for now, this is starting to look like we have a potential turn brewing. The thing that we need to concern ourselves about is the fact that Kijun and Tekinson have crossed over in a bearish pattern. So we need to see them cross over again. So that's on the daily. If we look on the 4 hour, you'll see we had a crossover, which was a bullish crossover. We then couldn't get through the cloud, fell off, and now we've had a bearish crossover below the cloud. Now remember, a crossover below the cloud, or bearish crossover below the cloud, is a lot more bearish than a bearish crossover above the cloud. So it works both ways. The warning bell is that Chiku span has broken through price here. We needed to get through Kijunsen, and we needed to get through the cloud, and that's going to give us a very bullish setup. Okay, so right now there's nothing to read into this to say that there has been a trend change. This is still a bearish break of the cloud, and it is still a bearish test of the cloud. Right, so we just come down to the hour, and similar scenario. Okay, we did have a bullish crossover on Friday, but nothing materialized. We're now testing the top of the cloud, and we've got a bearish crossover. So this is why I'm saying rather wait. If we do get a pullback and it is a higher low for today, that would start indicating that you have a potential turn. But for now, it is still below the cloud. It is still bearish. And the last one we're going to look at is the half hour. And you can see even the half hour, you can see how we've got Kijunsen, which is flat, and Tekinson is now pointing up. You can see the cloud is pointing up. Okay, and you can see how a Chiku span is coming up to price here as well. So the setup on the lower time frame is starting to happen, but we still need to see these crossovers. So we need to see Kijunsen, Tekinson crossover. We need to see the cloud twist become green, and obviously what we need to see is a break of a fractal level, and there is a fractal there. Okay, we have broken through the cloud, So what I would expect us to do is rally a bit, come back, test a break, and then move up. So that's kind of what my play is for now. Okay. And just want to come back to this level here. So, and give it to you like this. So we've got a break of this trend line. I'd like to see us come back, test this break, get a crossover my moving averages, and that is my indication to get long. I'm going to take a stab at this being our swing trade setup for today as we're into earnings season. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But obviously not long from this level. I want a pullback. And so long as the pullback does not break below 25,300, I'm going to take a stab at a long with my stop below 20. Well, my stop will be 25,300. So stop at 25,300, and I'm looking for a pullback before I get in. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for. And obviously we're going to be trading this on the 4-hour. So just bring this level up. So that 4-hour fractal there, which is 25,626, is a level to watch. We get a 4-hour close above that. That gives me a new high, and that gives me confidence that we have a potential move to the upside. But again, just be wary, because you can see how we broke through these fractals here. And although if you were trading a fractal break of this fractal, no, sorry, it would be this fractal here. Oops, sorry, we created a new fractal, which was there. So you would have been waiting for a fractal break there. It didn't happen. And then you had this fractal form. So Friday you were waiting for this break. You got it. So you would be long with a stop below this bottom fractal here. But you can see our price came back to test. It didn't get below the fractal, but it did come back to test. Okay, so yeah, that's me for the moment. Rather long-winded this Monday morning. But there are some warning bells that are saying that we do have a potential bottom, and I'm waiting for a little bit more confirmation for me at this moment. The whole of Friday was not really anything in there to indicate that we have something happening. You can see up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There was nothing really in there. So what I'm waiting for is we do have pretty strong move at the moment. I want to see if we can get a pullback, a higher low for today, and then I'll take a stab at this. Okay, so yeah, I think that's me for today. This level here has been pretty solid all of last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. So it's been a pretty solid week, and if it does play out and we do get above 26,884, that is a potential double bottom that is formed. Okay, so that's my take on this at the moment. Still a wait and see game though, so there's nothing really concrete for me. I want to see a pullback, and I want to see pretty much a retest of these moving averages. If I can get that, a decent retest on the half hour of these moving averages and get a crossover, I'll take a stab at it. Okay, well, that's me for now. I hope it helps, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.